Welcome to MLC TV Week in Review. We are reaching you live from the city of Lokoja, the confluent state of Nigeria. I am Joshua Adinoy. The headlines: Kogi Governor Bello swears in 3 commissioners, appoints special advisors and senior special assistants. Governor Bello receives He for She award again. Permanent member of Kogi State Health Insurance Agency, Nana Aisha Abu Ali, receives Governor Bello's commendation. Now the news in detail. Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello has sworn in 3 commissioners into their respective offices following their successful screening by the Kogi State House of Assembly. While swearing in the new commissioners on Friday, the governor said Dr. Zachary Usman from the Kina local government area would oversee the health ministry. Engineer Mohammed Abdulmutalib was appointed as the Commissioner of Rural and Energy Development, while Kingsley Fanwo was retained as the Commissioner for Information and Communication. Governor Bello urged the new appointees to join their other colleagues in the discharge of their duty, saying that they have joined the state's highest decision-making body to serve the people.
We have come to serve our people. We're serving our people. We're joining us today to serve our people. We're managing both human and material resources. Resources are never enough, especially the depleting ones. We simply apply our acumen, our managerial skills to ensure that we prioritize and ensure that our people have maximum benefit for the little resources available. And that is why we christened our administration New Direction Administration, and in the second term, we're doing more with the little that are available for our people. You're not here to serve yourself. From first term to the second term is never a time for merriment or enjoyment. Old order is far gone. We employed and imported new order, and it's been working for us here in Kogi State.
The governor also advised the new commissioners to acquaint themselves with the new direction blueprint, which had since been the template of policy for the administration, noting that top among what they would imbibe include unity and peaceful coexistence. The governor also announced some replacement of appointees who resigned to contest for various political offices in their various senatorial districts. The secretary to the state government, who briefed journalists after the extra executive council meeting, gave their profile.
I also wish to announce to you the official approval of Commodore Duro Jerry Omodara as the state security advisor. Of course, we know the special advisor on power and energy is also back. His Excellency has approved his coming back, Mr. Taiti Akere Jola Eminefo, while Mr. Samson Baku is the special advisor on works and housing, and Mr. Mohammed Ibrahim, special advisor on solid minerals and natural resources. Mr. John Hura Ikani, the special advisor on project monitoring. Dresu Yahaya as a special advisor, special duty to His Excellency. Mr. Paul Ahame Funa Sobele, the special advisor, community integration and harmonization to His Excellency. Mr. Isa Sani Abdul Karim, the special advisor, internal and corporate affairs to His Excellency. We have the deployment to Mr. Dele Adeyanju Ishelewa, who was the senior special assistant on small and medium enterprises, has been redeployed to special advisor to His Excellency on job creation, knowing fully that the former special advisor job creation is the flag bearer of APC for Kutu. Lokoja Federal Constituency. While the position occupied by Mr. Ishelewa will now be occupied by Mr. Mohammed Mahmoud Shaba, who is now the Senior Special Assistant to His Excellency on Small and Medium Enterprises. Excellency, congratulate them, and I had my voice to His Excellency's own to say congratulations.
The newly inaugurated Commissioner for Health, Usman Zakari, thanked the governor for giving him such an opportunity to bring to bear his wealth of experience in the health sector.
If you see, a lot has happened in the last few years, or the last few months, if you ask me, and those are positives to build on. What I'm going to do differently is I'm going to use my experience with the development partners to look at what are we going to do to make all this fantastic investment to be self-sustaining. Sustainability of this is very important. One other thing I'm going to do differently because of my experience and expertise is community participation. Most of these facilities are not hanging in the air. They are situated in the communities. So communities must learn to take ownership.
The returned Commissioner for Information and Communication has immediately resumed his duty by performing his first assignment of briefing the Government House press crew on some of the key decisions reached during the Executive Council meeting. He, however, thanked the governor for giving him another chance to deliver and strengthen the state communication sector.
His Excellency commended the State Ministry of Health for the ongoing data capturing for the intended beneficiary of BelluCare, which has to cover the insurance scheme. The health insurance agency of the state government, which is ongoing across the 21 local government councils of the state. This is to ensure that the poor people in rural communities and even in urban areas could access virtually free Medicare, which is an initiative of the present administration to improve healthcare delivery and make it affordable to the good people of Kogi State. Graphic newspapers is doing very well, and also our state website is still one of the best in the country today, winning the state so many awards and a lot of things too. When you look at our radio, that's where we're having challenges, but I want to announce to you that the state governor had not only approved the procurement of modern digital transmitters, but I want to also announce to you joyfully that those transmitters are already in Lagos, and they will be in Kogi very soon and will be installed. And we are also planning to increase the number of hours we are on air on Radio Kogi so that we can boost even the commercial standing of the radio.
They are expected to resume with immediate effect. Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello has been honored and recognized as a He for She African Leading Women Award. The award was given during the 6th International Women Power Conference and Award in Abuja. The governor was represented by the Special Advisor on Public Relations, Ahmed Bolori. Bolori described the award as another tap on the governor's shoulder to do more.
I want you to know that in Kogi State we have 21 local governments, and all the vice chairmen of these 21 local governments are women, courtesy of His Excellency. It may also surprise you to know that in Kogi State, in the 21 local governments, we have at least minimum of 3 female councillors in each of these local governments, courtesy of His Excellency Yahaya Bello. It may also interest you to know that we have the heads of the legislative arm of the local government, the councillors, their speakers, they are all also women. Which I believe is what he will do if he's here. We dedicate this to all the women in the world, because women are naturally wonderful and all blessed. And women will work with the likes of His Excellency Yahaya Bello to change the world in a woman's way.
He commended the organizer and promised that Governor Yahaya Bello will not relent in his efforts to keep advocating for more women in the political leadership of Nigeria. Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello has commended Nana Aisha Abu Ali, permanent member of the Kogi State Health Insurance Agency Lokoja, for her enormous efforts at enlightening and sensitizing members of the public on the existence and activities of the Kogi State Health Insurance Agency. The commendation letter signed and made public by the Secretary to the State Government, Folashade Ayoade, during the second ESCO meeting, explained that the Governor delightfully took cognizance of the agency's performances. Governor Bello commended the speedy achievements recorded at enrollment of children from 0 to 5 years, pregnant women, the vulnerable, people living with disability, the poorest of the poor, and the elderly people in the scheme of Bello Care. The governor is hopeful that the commendation will spur her into redoubling her efforts. In her acceptance and appreciation for the honor done her, Nana Aisha Abu Ali said receiving a letter of commendation from the governor through the SSG was a great inspiration and motivation not just for her, but for both political and non-political office holders to do more. She promised to add more value, projecting more of the agency's activities and promoting the image of the present administration and leadership qualities in the Confluence State. Nana Abu Ali said Governor Yahaya Bello's efforts in ensuring health care coverage for everyone through the Kogi State Health Insurance Agency laid a foundation of comprehensive primary care known as Bello Care. She said it covers 5 vulnerable groups of people: pregnant women, children between 0 to 5 years of age, people living with disabilities, elderly people, and the poorest of the poor. The permanent member added that Bello Care affords the following services: general consultation, treatment of diseases such as malaria, typhoid fever, among others. Other services rendered include antenatal care, deliveries, postnatal care, pediatric care, surgeries, ENT and eye care services, dental care services and emergency care, ultrasound scan, laboratory services, physiotherapy services, skin care services, primary mental care, internal medicine, such as management of hypertension, diabetes, peptic ulcer, asthma, and other chronic diseases, are services rendered by the Bello Care. She expressed satisfaction with the turnout of beneficiaries and responses from royal fathers across the 21 local government areas of the state. Nana Aisha Abu Ali further expressed optimism that with the governor's intervention in the health sector in the state, there will be no medical tourism nor excuses for any government official to go out seeking medical treatment outside Nigeria after the commissioning of the reference and ultra-modern hospitals across the state. In furtherance of Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello's quest to promote entrepreneurship, particularly among women, the state government has begun to explore ways to enhance the shea butter value chain as a catalyst for women empowerment in the state. For the quick takeoff, a delegation from Kogi State Enterprise Development Agency, KEDA, has embarked on a tour to Niger State on a mission to understudy the shea butter value chain in the neighboring state. A statement issued by KEDA's communication strategist, Opeyemi Ologun, explained that the 2-day tour was meant to afford the agency a chance to explore the potential transfer of knowledge towards growing the market for shea butter, which has been named as a catalyst for women empowerment in Nigeria. Niger State Community Exchange Promotion Agency, NSCEPA, a state agency responsible for the increase in production, marketing and distribution of various agricultural produce in the state, received the KEDA delegation. In a remark, the DG NSCEPA, Fatima Wushishi, described KEDA's quest to understudy shea butter development in Niger State as highly professional. Fatima further noted that Kogi State's diversification in agriculture is a great step in the right direction, just as it's exploring the various economical viable deposits across the state. According to the Federal Institute of Industrial Research, Oshodi, Nigeria is estimated to produce about 500,000 metric tons of shea nuts annually, with the potential of generating $10 billion per annum across the value chain. Niger State has focused on the systematically organizing the sector, attracting numerous partners. Notable among these feats is the UN Women, as 7 cooperatives have participated and received international grants to train more women. Interestingly, Niger, Kogi and Kwara contributed 57% to the shea butter value chain, while other states jointly contributed 43%. Despite Kogi State's huge landmass with cooperative advantage of shea trees in all the 21 local government areas, there is a need to increase the production capacity of the sector. NSECPA and KEDA teams discussed issues around shea butter, entrepreneurs and cooperatives, partnership and collaboration with foreign agencies and organizations, shea butter aggregation, filtration and export, investors and marketing, supply and value chains, challenges, solution and prospects during the tour. KEDA team also visited the shea butter village to access the production strength and interact with the farmers. KEDA is proposing a multidisciplinary approach that combines fruit farming and other similar produce, intending to increase revenue, share operations, expertise, and foster sustainability and expansion in the state. Daniel Ogu, Research and Development Specialist and KGKS ICT Enhancement Lead, Umar Ahmed Tijani, Business Development Associate and KG's Care Head of Credit Grant, and Joyce Atawodi, Coordinator of Kogi Shea Butter Association, made up the KEDA delegation. Among the Niger State team who received the KEDA delegation were Fatima Wushishi, DG NSCEPA, Baba Esuyakba, Assistant Director Admin NSCEPA, Haji Ajumai Abubakar, Chairperson NASPAN, and Honorable Yahya Umar Kotongora, SSA to Niger State Governor on NSCEPA. We go on a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. The Ministry of Justice, in collaboration with the Justice Coordinating Committee, has organized a workshop in Lokoja, Kogi State. The workshop, which was held at the Government House, Lokoja, and declared open by the State Governor, Yahya Bello, represented by the Deputy, Edward Onoja, had in attendance police officers, lawyers, and justice. The representative of the Attorney General of the Federation, Teddy Agba, charged participants to fully participate in all sessions in order to achieve the designed aims, that is to address human rights abuse, maltreatment of suspects at police station and detention facilities, violation of the provision of the Constitution as well as other international human rights instruments, and called for total collaboration of stakeholders.
The National Policy on Justice is therefore the fulcrum of our collaboration towards addressing the various challenges militating against the justice system, and defines its principles, integrity, security, and accountability. The Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015 and its reform of criminal justice administration provided a broad legal framework for more effective cross-sector collaboration and oversight between and among agencies in the administration of criminal justice and the protection of the rights of citizens.
Agba commended the Kogi State government for their hospitality and security consciousness. The keynote speaker said, for speedy dispensation of justice, synergy among role players is key, saying without such, the whole approach to justice system will be slow.
At each level of government, whether federal or state, it's not run by a single institution. Rather, it is a collection of institutions. Now that is a challenge because for us to achieve the objective of speedy dispensation of justice, fair dispensation of justice, respect for the rule of law and human rights, you will need leadership. So what this policy on justice has done is to provide a framework where our various levels of government and our various heads of institutions can act collectively towards a common objective.
Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello, represented by his deputy Edward Onoja, observed that the unconsciousness delays in disposing of criminal matters in the court is caused by disregard or ignorance of due process in the arrest, detention, bail and trial of accused persons. He therefore hoped the workshop will enhance the ability to eradicate same in their individuals and joint capacities.
I am one of those leaders who believe that zero tolerance for crimes and criminality is at the heart of all efforts to secure the lives and properties of Nigerians. We practice it religiously here in Kogi State. Hence, our long-running status as one of the safest states in the country today. It is well known to criminals and other sponsors that our government is committed to preventing crimes, and when crimes do happen, despite our efforts, that we do not relent in tracking down and punishing the perpetrators to the full extent of the law. In spite of our zeal to rid our society of antisocial and harmful elements, we acknowledge that adherence to due process is critical to building a criminal justice system that deters crime, not just because it punishes criminals, but also because it deters them by guaranteeing fair and lawful treatment unto all under the law. The North Central is the only geopolitical zone that is yet to produce a president or vice president of Nigeria under any democratic dispensation. Unfortunately, despite our best efforts, it has become apparent that 2023 will not be the year in which we can remedy that. What we can do, however, is to ensure that the North Central is better governed in all aspects than any other part of this country, and an efficient criminal justice system that habitually follows due process is a huge part of that.
The workshop is centered on training modalities and framework for coordinated implementation of the Section 9, subsection 33 and 34 of CAP Core Administration of Criminal Justice of 2015 in Nigeria. The Army Day Secondary School, Charimegumeri Barak, Lokoja, Kogi State, has been crowned champions of the just concluded Girls International School Science Quiz Competition, organized by the Kogi State chapter of the Association of Professional Women Engineers in Nigeria, APWEN. The school emerged first with 16 points. St. Apostles School, Okene, came second with 14 points, while Crowder Memorial College, Lokoja, settled for the third position with 12 points. In an interview with the principal of Army Day Secondary School, Lokoja, Salami Moses said his joy knows no bounds over the success achieved by the female student of the school during the APWEN quiz competition. Salami explained that the students have been making the school proud in all competition they took part in, stressing that the commitment of staffers towards quality teaching also contributed to the feat achieved so far.
We don't have indolent teachers here. teachers are very hardworking in this school. I'm proud of them. In fact, it has been very cordial, very cordial. In fact, you see students always try to even be the teachers. If they have any problem they cannot even express before their parents, they discuss with the teachers. And this is how we're able to resolve. And the students see teachers as their last hope in case of any problem. So the relationship has been very, very cordial.
On her part, the coordinator of JET Group, Amina Ajayi, who led the girls to victory, appreciated God for his wisdom upon the children, stressing that they have been devoted to ensuring parents get value for their money.
What you think a male child can do, you give it to the girls, they can do much more better. Not only in education, every areas of life. You will discover that any organization you want them to succeed very well, just put a woman there. You will discover that she will be active, she will be articulate, and not only that, she will be fantabulous in that place. This JET in this school is active. Our aim and target is to help these science students so that they can be good in life, especially in the sciences.
Students who represented the school in the competition and the school head girl all appreciated the teachers for impacting their lives positively.
Well, I thank God for His grace and His mercies upon each and every one of our lives. And I have my teachers to thank for this victory. They really, really tried. They taught us well and they taught us the way they're supposed to teach us. So with the teaching they gave us, we were able to come out victorious because most of the questions were based on what we were taught in school.
Go for several competitions, were enlightened by several people because people believe that there are no qualified teachers in public school, but I would say they are wrong because the government places more concentration on public schools than private schools. Private schools are owned by individuals and they are limited to some people, but in a public school there are different varieties of things, qualified teachers and people who devote their time in order to sponsor and to assist, help and promote students from public school. And I believe with your mindset and a goal you wish to achieve, you'll be able to do it anyway, despite being in a public school.
I would say the school is trying. Although we are publicly defined, but I think there is a lot more than what people say about us. Despite the fact that we lack teachers for some subjects, but with the little we have, I think we're doing a great job at utilizing it. We have graduates from this school who are lawyers, right from this very school. We have made public administrators. We've made a lot of good and independent individuals, and they're doing very well wherever they go. And in fact, they bring more glory and honor to their great alma mater. Wherever they go, and they are like, which school did you come from? They say, oh, it's Amide, and they'll be like, is there any school called Amide? They make people recognize us the more. So aside from the way people see us publicly, there is much more to that.
APWEN is a Women Engineer Association in Nigeria with a branch in Kogi State. Part of their objective is to build confidence in girl children to have a passion for studying science classes in schools. Representative of the National Youth Service Corps NYSC in Kogi State, Umar Ayuba, has expressed joy over the repair and construction of school facilities by some members of the Corps in the state. Ayuba gave the commendation while commissioning the facilities at the deaf school in Zangodaji, Adavi local government area of Kogi State. He appreciated Andrew Paul Nkom and Unwane Osas, who passionately searched for funds to meet the needs of the student. The NYSC representative appealed to the state government to extend support towards the school and the student.
Urge the government to equally take a cue from what these two core members have done today to see that, though we know that it's not everything that we shoulder to the government itself. He has proven his own. The two of them have proven that yes, they have stamped out to make a difference. So we are equally soliciting to the government to see it as something that they will be able to help the needy. Because as you look at those children, they are special, we call them special children. So they need to do more. More is expected from the government. And we pray that most of their promises will be kept.
A traditional ruler at the event, His Royal Highness Timothy Ige Omonile from Kababonu local government area, charged individuals and organizations to contribute their quota to the upliftment of the deaf school. He commended the state governor Yahaya Bello and described him as a leader with a listening ear.
I also want to advise the parents, don't feel bad when you see these children. If you will not be able to take care of them, God will not have given them to you. It is because God knows that you are very responsible parents, and that is why He has given you these children. So please, and I want to also thank you for coming out with these children, because we have some people that I don't know, whatever reason they think, they close their children indoor. They will not even allow them to come out. After all, you are not the fault for having this type of children. It is the will of God. So it is because God wants you to be proud of them. I think that's why He has given them to us. So God will continue to live, to look after them for us. But by the grace of God, when we can get the assistance of God and assistance of the government, things will be easier for us.
The principal of the school, Anifowoshe Abiodun, who described how challenging the journey has been, called on spirited personalities to come to their aid.
Most of the funding is coming from the proprietor of the school, who is a deaf man as well. Edaemo Anifowoshe, who happens to be my biological father, is a man that went to free school, both in Nigeria and outside the country. And when he came back to Nigeria, he promised to give back to the society what the society has given to him. And he has been running the school alone. Government to be paying the staff salary and also be feeding these children, because these are the two most difficult tasks that we are having in the school. It's not easy for the man to be paying the staff salary, and the age is telling on him. He's an elderly man now. And even though myself, I don't want to bother him for more things again. And that was what really prompted to our school closed down in Mapa because of the funding aspect.
The NYSC core members, Andrew Paul Nkom and Unwane Osas, who facilitated the project, said the main objective of carrying out the humanitarian services is to motivate the pupils and students to learn in a conducive environment, and also appealed for financial and material support for the school.
I saw that despite my course of study, I know I study architecture, I'm an environmental science student, but with the fact that I am an environmental science student, for me to see people with a disability having a bad convenience, it was so emotional, and that's really what motivates me to do a project for them. Saying that there's ability in disability, it's true, because these students are something like they're special, because these are people that they have disability, but God tend to give them some talent that even the normal people that can talk, they don't even have. So they are special, so their parents should also try in any way to support them, not that they will neglect them.
I should leave an impression, I should leave a mark, I should not leave a place the same way I met it. So that was what motivated me to take up the project. And that's what is it called? Is it the stigma about the deaf that they are violent? When I came here, I had to debunk it because the deaf persons are not violent. They are the most hospitable persons I've ever seen. I believe that there is greatness in them, but only if the parents are willing to accept them and work with them, that's when the greatness will come out.
Parents at the event commended their efforts and called on other parents who have special children to always be proud of them.
The journey, it has not been an easy one, but we thank God and the school authority as well. They have been supportive, and for the children, we are grateful they are doing fine. My advice to other parents is that if you have a special child, you don't need to hide them at all. You don't need to be ashamed of them. You should be proud of them. As a deaf child, you should not keep them aside. You don't want people to see you with your children because they are special children. You should be free and give them the best you can give. For example, their education. You should not deprive them their education because they are challenged people. So I advise people, if you have a special child, don't hide them. Bring them out. Let them, give them the privilege to go out and meet with other people. Don't keep them indoors.
2 children that are deaf. One is in 300 level as we speak. The second one is in GS2, and that is why I'm here. I wish the school to continue with their mission and their vision for the disabled children in the society.
On politics, the chairman, Kogi State chapter of Jamaatul Nasir Islam, JNI, Ambassador Bello Usman, has called on eligible voters who are yet to obtain their permanent voters card PVC to take advantage of the grace period before its closure. Ambassador Bello made the call in his office in Lokoja while speaking on the need for the citizens to perform their civic responsibilities during electioneering season. He said the need for the people to get their PVC cannot be overemphasized, stressing that it enables the citizens to choose leaders that mean well for the citizens of the country.
Certainly enjoin all Muslims, all Christians, all citizens to try and perform that civic responsibility by obtaining their permanent voters card and, do the necessary legislation towards very important assignment that is coming in the next year. If you are Nigerian, I think he must be seen to participate in the general election that will restore the leader of our choice, Nigeria.
The Kogi State JNI chairman called on all electoral umpires to stay committed towards ensuring the success of the general election and charged them to remain professional in their conduct. Secretary of the body in the state, Alhaji Isa Adeboye, while lending his voice, said PVC is important to all eligible voters, calling on them to do the needful.
Number one advice is to engage our malams, our scholars, our imams, to help us pray fervently for a very successful and peaceful election. 2, for God Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us very good leaders at all levels of government. And secondly, for the entire Muslims to come out and vote en masse for the candidates of their choice. There are so many of them that have not been able to collect their PVC. We are advising them to go to INEC offices and collect their PVC, and those people that have not even got registered, they should do that before the expiration.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, had announced that the ongoing continuous voters registration exercise will come to a close on Sunday, 31st July 2022. Meanwhile, some Nigerians are still mounting pressure on the commission to again extend the registration process. The Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) Lagos State Chapter on Tuesday issued a 2-week ultimatum to the federal government to resolve issues with the Academic Staff Union of Universities (ASU). The Lagos State chairperson, Agnes Sesi, made this known during a protest in Ikeja. She urged the government to act or risk another NSAS protest. The protesters arrived at the gate of the Lagos State House where they waited for government officials to attend to them. Sesi said if the federal government does not resolve the strike within 2 weeks, there would be a nationwide mass protest.
This is a fight against the federal government and not necessarily against the state government to bring to an end this strike action. The immediate concern will be the immediate payment of the withheld salaries of the university staff. Government should also shelve the IPPIS. We don't want it any longer. They are using it to corruptly enrich themselves and to steal our money. To honor all the agreements the government entered into or renegotiated in good faith, they should rebuild the confidence, establish a framework for repositioning our university for competitive service delivery and relevance in line with their mandates. Your Excellency, sir, this matter, we dare say, is of grave importance national. Hence, this appeal to you. While we await your response and the transmission of this letter to the President, and we also want to use this medium to encourage our good governor to also do the needful to all our state tertiary institutions in Lagos State.
They are protesting, they are struggling for the advancement of education in this country. Nigerian workers in the university system and Nigerian lecturers are underpaid. A professor at bar in Nigeria is earning 416,000 after tax. That is deplorable, that is shameful, that is damnable, that is unpardonable, and that is unexcusable. We cannot continue like this.
As a society, we are not getting our values right. So, if all this has over time led to crisis we are witnessing in the country, issue of insecurity, unemployment, sometimes they come out to say majority of our graduates are not employable. Who is responsible? When you allow schools to be shut down for several months, there is no consistency. You learn something today, when you come back, the lecturer continues from where he stopped, not realizing that the students have forgotten what they have learned.
We are equal partner in the progress of the education system in Nigeria. We want our reward in this world, not in the hereafter.
And this is 13th year since the last negotiation. And in the course of this negotiation, the government is not committed to the genuine demand as it's contained in the agreement. Immediately, we went on board to protest this insensitivity of the government. The government decides to stop our salary immediately, which is against the ILO resolution, which is, we see it as autocratic, we see it as inhumane, we see it as a way of starving Nigerian workers to death.
A human rights lawyer, Femi Falana, SAN, joined the NLC nationwide protest that just ended in support of resolving the ASU strike and allowing students to go back to schools. Falana was spotted along with other protesters in Lagos, saying he was defending the interest of Nigerians.
Security has virtually collapsed in Nigeria. So we must get the president pressurized to address the problems of the country before he rushes back home. And if he's tired, as he is saying, we urge him to go back home and rest and take care of his health so that this country can be allowed, to return to sanity. Right now, there's no governance in Nigeria. And that is why you can have a strike in the university system for 5 months. It's unacceptable. It's intolerable.
The national president of NLC, Comrade Ayuba Waba, in a statement told fellow workers that the National Days of Protest was in support of unions in Nigeria's public universities who are fighting for quality education. Recall that ASUU had been on strike for over 5 months to press down its demand before the federal government, which include implementation of the agreement reached between both parties in 2009 and non-implementation of the Integrated Payroll and Personal Information System, IPPIS, as it applies to lecturers, among others. It is on that note we end MLC TV Week in Review. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I am Joshua Adinoy.